I am Neil Larthos. I am the next Abdullah. You are the next Neville Goddard. Your SP gets wet every single time they think of you, and your bank account makes Jeff Bezos look homeless. Okay, let's move this here because we have the Archangel Michael interfering with my shot. Well, what are you going to do? Well, either ways, guys, this is another episode of manifestation receipts, okay? And if you guys don't know already, I mean, the other videos already got like 40 million views. This is a series of me telling people actual success stories that have happened recently in my life that just keep reassuring me, reaffirming to myself just how fucking scary this shit is, okay? This one is a very recent one. This one, I don't even know when I'm going to post this video. I'm probably going to post this on the 27th maybe of this month, but when you're watching this, you're probably watching this on the 27th of December, and maybe this was published on that day. But either way, this happened on the 5th of December, okay? I was working that day. As you guys may know, I'm a manager at a restaurant. Of course, everybody knows this because I'm the most famous man in the universe. I manage a restaurant, and I have been working at that restaurant for years. It was a day where I had to train a new cook. And I didn't know much about this guy going into it. And to be honest, we haven't had the best of luck with these cooks. We've been a little shorthanded on this specific cook position, and I did not get enough sleep the night before. It was just a big combination of a bunch of shit, right? And it had all the ingredients of a bad day in the making, okay? And I'm not even gonna lie to you guys, even though I try my best to continue to stay in my high self-concept, which I have of myself, there are days like that day where I went into it just kind of feeling like shit. And I'm gonna be real with you, I noticed that a lot of the times whenever I'm very tired, very sleepy, I do approach a lot of the days where I just feel like shit. And I gotta be honest with you, I don't really feel on top of shit. I don't really feel like myself, right? But either ways, so let me get right to the fucking chase. I go there, and right away, this guy is really easy to work with, right? And apparently he already worked at another location, but the same restaurant. The only difference is that he'd never worked that position before. But just the simple fact that he's already rubbed shoulders with all the other employees, it wasn't that new of an experience for him. Because as you may know, whatever job you work at, you're going to basically have an idea of how things work because you'll be, you know, gossiping with this guy. Even though you're a cashier, you'll be hanging out with the person in the dining, whatever, right? So he seemed to be catching along great, right? But on top of that, things were going great for him. And on top of that, my girlfriend offers to get me coffee, right? And I didn't even ask for it. She literally drives over there right on my way to work, and she meets me there, and she, you know, makes my day by getting me my coffee, asking me how I wanted it, because, you know, I always get it black. You know, I'm full racist when it comes to my coffee. And, you know, everything was already kicking off to a fucking amazing start, right? Then on top of that, there's a huge order that we have to make. And the thing is, okay, I had to leave early, right? And a lot of times when you work shifts in the morning, it's very annoying because, you know, even though us managers, we work all day, okay? This is not no 9 to 5 bullshit like you lazy motherfuckers. This is some 11 to 9. Sometimes it's fucking 10 to close, okay? Sometimes we'll do a shift where we're working from 10 o'clock in the morning all the way to 9 at night, and then we have to wake up at 4 the next morning to come in and open the store, right? Well, this was a day where I had what is called a short day, whatever the fuck that means, right? And what that meant is that I had to go in early for the morning shift to train this cook, and I left at 2, right? Now, the thing is typically when you are working in the restaurant, it feels like even though it's a shorter day than you're used to, it never feels fucking short because you're always just swamped, right? Because it's a very busy restaurant. But I get sent to do a delivery, and by the time I come back, next thing you know, I mean, have you guys ever had that situation where you want time to go quickly because you can't wait to get the hell out of work, or you can't wait till your fucking show is on or whatever, right? And you feel like time's going by so slow, but then something happens, and then all of a sudden you look at the clock and it's like, oh shit, it's almost time. Well, once I get back from the delivery, it is about an hour and a half left until I have to leave, right? And the thing is as a manager, this is different than being an employee. As a manager, if you guys are swamped, you still have to stay after, even if it's time for you to go, because otherwise it just looks unprofessional, right? So even when I have a short day, even when we have a short day, because I have like 6 other managers who work with us, there's always this idea of hopefully I can get everything done in time so that way I have nothing, else to do by the time I leave, right? Well, the guy who I was training, he was already pretty much finished, right? We did everything we had to do. By the time I get back from the delivery, it's already an hour and a half left until I have to leave. But then on top of that, I'm sent to clean out the delivery van, and once I'm done with that, there's 10 minutes left till I have to get off. But here's the crazy part. I forgot the fact that I had to count registers. Okay, so when I was taking my sweet ass time, basically trying to enjoy life outside of the restaurant, and I'm not gonna lie, I was stealing some fucking time. Okay, I'm not gonna arrest me. Okay, you caught me. Okay, I wasn't. I could have fucking finished my shit in 10 minutes, but I made it more like 45. Okay, sue me. All right, but either ways, I was organizing the fucking truck, right? And next thing you know, I realized, son of a bitch, I took way too much time outside. I forgot that I still need an extra 20 minutes to count the registers, because that's your duty, before you leave. I go in there and I'm like, fuck it. If I have to leave 30 minutes late, whatever. I mean, I can hurry it up. I go into the office to get my shit ready, and my co-manager tells me, hey, don't worry about it. I already did your registers. I got coffee. The motherfucker who I'm supposed to train already knows what to fucking do. The delivery made my shift, it basically cut it in half. My co-manager read my fucking mind and did my homework for me, right? All these things, right? Then later on, it was a family day where I was spending time with my sister. And I'm not gonna lie to you, my sister can, I promise not to go detailistic about family. Let's just say that I was surprised how well it went, okay? It was an extremely peaceful outing with my sister. Again, I'm not gonna go into details why it was so surprising, but I mean, you guys, we are in the imaginative community here, so I'll let you use your imagination, okay? We're using thought transmission right now. You get what the fuck I'm talking about here, okay? You can read my mind. But either ways, I was extremely surprised just how well it went. It went way better than normal. It was very peaceful. She wanted to see Wicked Part 2, and the movie was actually pretty fucking good. I'm not even gonna lie. I was very reluctant going into it, but I left, I went, it was quite, it was not that bad of an experience, okay? And I love me some Ariana Grande. I mean, yes, I gotta admit, she needs to eat, she needs to go to In-N-Out a little bit more, but I mean, fuck. She's adorable, bro. But either ways, Then on top of that, we're over there shopping, and I'm getting countless shooting signals left and right. Okay. And to be honest, gentlemen and women too, but I mean, to be fair, you ladies have like 20 times more DMs in your inbox than even the highest value male on the sexual market. You guys know, dudes, that whenever you're having a good day, you're gonna be getting attention from women, bro. You know that it's not just that everything's going well at work. It's not just that you found 20 fucking dollars on the sidewalk. It's that, look, even the girls are checking you out. And I was getting nonstop attention. Even today at work, it was another one of those fucking days where there was just shooting signals left and right. Okay. And I'm gonna tell you guys right now, I think there was about 5 more things that happened that made me go, what the fuck? This is so damn lucky. This is more of a side manifestation. This is not really about me being the luckiest motherfucker in the world, like the way the thumbnail says, but my sister was talking about Five Nights at Freddy's. I think it was that morning, right? Because we were debating on what we were going to watch. And later on, I'm listening to a Penguin Z0, aka Moist Critical. As you guys know, Charlie. I love his content. And I was watching, I don't know if it was the video that he posted on the 5th of December, or I think it was one of his recent videos. That day, I was watching his videos like I always do, and he mentions Five Nights at Freddy's. Even though it had nothing to do with the movie coming up, he mentioned it because he was talking about a fucking story where he peed in this girl's mouth when she was giving him a blowjob, right? And I'm already getting demonetized, so we can. It's open lanes here, okay? No filter. But he was peeing. He did a whole lemonade stand in her throat, right? And he talked about how he first revealed this story. I think that the day after it happened, while he was doing some game commentary on Five Nights at Freddy's. That's freaking hilarious, man. What the fuck? What the hell? This is why you love Charlie, man. And even that, okay, was more. It was actually very pleasant to see that I know the reason why he mentioned it. Okay, I know the reason why I stumbled across that video and was like, oh shit, is interesting. I mean, he could have said that he was playing fucking, Assassin's Creed or Black Ops, but no, he mentioned Five Nights at Freddy's. And that's what I'm saying. Like, for instance, my girlfriend loves Stitch. I'm seeing Stitch every frickin' where. Even this manifestation coach that I watched, Joseph Ally. I don't know if you guys noticed, but it wasn't until my girlfriend started bringing up about Stitch that I started noticing that he has Stitch in some of his videos. I went back to the other videos. He didn't have them before. And all of a sudden, I'm watching the videos that he has Stitch. You see, so whether it's positive or negative things, you're going to get reflected back to you what you keep putting in your consciousness. Now, what happened on the 5th of December that it was such a lucky day? Earlier that week, because I think that was on a fucking... Don't make me fucking look at the calendar again. I don't even remember what fucking day that was, okay? But earlier that week, I told myself I am the luckiest motherfucker in the world, right? And I actually have the habit of when people saying, oh my gosh, Neo, really? Like, you missed the rush. You were off and we got swamped, but then you come back and it's slow. Wow, you're lucky. And I always tell them, yeah, I mean, it's just, they're looking out for me, right? I'm always saying that. And it's gotten to the point where I actually notice that out of all the positive things that I say, positive affirmations or assumptions, really, it's more of like an assumption now that I've literally made it an actual belief that I'm the luckiest motherfucker. It is one of the things that I keep seeing countless times, where like when I need to come in clutch, when I need something to come in clutch for me, it always fucking happens. When I need that motherfucker to make a 3-pointer for me so we can tie the ball game in Game 7 in the NBA Finals, he always comes in clutch. I always got my bench players to pick me up, you know what I'm saying? I always come in clutch at the buzzer, baby. Even if it's at the fucking buzzer with 0.00.999 fucking seconds left on the clock. Half a millisecond left on the clock. I'm like, swoosh. Okay? And I swear to you, I just told you kind of what happened in the morning, but I don't know why all of a sudden the night is a blur. All I remember is that when I went to shop, I was just choosing signals left and right. Like, I remember I was at Target and I was watching the, because I'm a chismoso, I'm a gossiper, right? I'm not a gossiper. I'm a, I'm always looking at my fucking sexy ass face on the monitor that they have at Target where they're showing you that they'll arrest your ass if you're stealing, right? There was a girl, I think behind me, right? And first of all, I'm pulling up to the self-scanner and she gives me that look like, hey, what the hell? What are you doing, big boy? You know what I'm saying? And then I noticed her staring at me from the fucking reflection. And when she realized, like, oh shit, this thing is on, she immediately looked away. But, yeah, dude, like, whenever I'm having one of those days or what, everything is just going my way, I used to think like, oh wow, it's because of something that I did today, or it's because of my lucky underwear that no. It's simply an assumption that you have about yourself being reflected. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not going to be the manifestation coach that says, as long as you have the assumption that you are the luckiest person in the world, every day is going to be flowers and roses. Let's be real here, motherfucker. That's not the way it works, right? I believe that because we spent the majority of our lives just talking shit about ourselves, the ego's always going to try to come back, right? But it's always the way you perceive it too, okay? Because I think that it's very hard to hold the assumption that every day is going to be amazing and you're never going to have an argument, you're never going to feel down, you're never going to feel sad. Because unless we are living in Delulu land, unless we are mentally insane, we all know that that's not true, that every day is going to have its ups and downs, right? And no matter how many times you tell yourself that, no, everything's perfect, I always, see perfection. I'm always going 100% from the field. Even Michael Jordan missed a couple free throws. Even Steph Curry misses sometimes, okay? But you still want to look at the whole of your life and realize that though you might have ups and downs, it's the way you respond, right? But again, I don't want to be one of those manifestation coaches that tells you that you're going to have days like this all the time. But it got to the point on that day, on the 5th of December, where I was like, wow, yeah, this is definitely a reflection of how my self-concept has been. And I'm going to make a video talking about how long you should expect for these manifestations to reflect when it's based off of an assumption or whatever. I believe that if you change your assumption or you're constantly identifying with a certain assumption, I believe you can shift. I think that when you shift from assumption to assumption, it's basically shifting states, really, right? Because think about it, a lot of these people who have personalities, a lot of them are just the personality of, oh, woe is me. It's like that guy's name is not even Andrew. It's, oh, look, there goes, woe is me. Did you turn in the homework, woe is me? Oh, no. He's basically fucking Eeyore, right? If you have the identity of Eeyore, that's what you're going to see is Eeyore, 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 and just depression and... And I'm going to be honest with you, I will have that reflected back to me on days where I just get like 2 hours of sleep because I feel, we all know how it feels to be, sleepy as fuck. I literally feel like half of a fucking human being whenever I don't sleep, right? And I will oftentimes give in to the negative thoughts that keep popping up. And I sometimes get swamped and I'm like, oh shit, maybe this is not the sleep. Maybe I'm just a loser. And then I will see a few days later the reflection of me being a loser. I will not get attention from the women. I'll have my boss, say something, about my performance that makes me feel like a piece of shit. But then I quickly remember, wait a second, I can just shift back, and then I remember who the fuck I am, and then I see that reflected just like I did on the 5th of December. But I am guilty of shifting from states. But I will tell you that this whole idea of, once you shift to another state, you can never go back. Bro, it's literally like I made a video the other day. It's literally like changing to a different show in Netflix. Okay? One thing I've always known, even before I understood spirituality, non-duality, manifestation, is that, okay, like a good example of shifting states is like this, okay? And this turned into the fucking shifting states video, right? But I remember I remember so many times when I used to joke around as a kid, and I was practically the class clown, and I used to be such a goofball, whether it was at school or whether it was with my friends or whether it was with my family, right? My mom would even tell me, like, oh my gosh, you never take anything seriously, right? That's the identity she saw me as. That was the state I was in. The guy who never takes anything seriously, he's just a clown. But if I had one day where I was in a bad mood, she wouldn't just say, sweetheart, what's wrong? She would say, oh my gosh, you're always in a bad mood. How the fuck can I go from you never take anything seriously, you're always joking around, to the next day I'm in a bad mood just because my PSP's screen broke, and now you're always in a bad mood. You never know how to joke around. You don't have a sense of humor. I had one of my coworkers tell me that the other day. And then other days she's like, oh my gosh, can you take something seriously? That is an example of how you can literally shift states like that. So the way that you can shift to a state where everybody's like, oh my gosh, you're always in a bad mood, when Tuesday they were just telling you, like, come on, can you not take anything seriously? That's the same way you can shift from the state of being a loser to all of a sudden you get all the fucking girls. Just like that. And when people tell you things like, oh, you're always in a bad mood, or oh my gosh, you always have a smile on your face, I wish I was more like you, they are just simply reflecting the state. Okay? That's why, and this goes both ways, that's why when somebody says something negative about you, don't take it so seriously, because the moment that you start showing them differently, it's almost like they completely fucking forget about how you once were. If you don't believe me, try it. Literally try to try to pretend. Fake it till you make it, if you have to, just to prove this theory right. Just so you can see what I'm talking about is true. People will forget how you once were. They might not actually truly forget, but a lot of them are so in their heads either ways that they're just remembering in the moment. They have short-term memory with these types of things because they're basing it more on how they feel in that moment. That's why they say that a person who says that they love you, they're only telling that because that's how they felt in the moment. But how many times do we hear the guy say, oh, but you just told me you loved me last week and now you say you want to break up? What the hell? Yeah, but that's before you were acting like a little bitch. Okay, but this has turned into another fucking infinity war. I am Neil Larthos. This is all that the I'm Awareness had to say. And I know you're going to be okay.